All right, so we're on to a new section. This first question is more me, I think. So, Jada's schooling, is she homeschooled or distance education, and what school? So, last year we were through Complete Education Australia, which is homeschooling. If you don't know the difference, homeschooling means that I would do all the marking, the teaching, and the report cards. Distance education means you have the support of a teacher and you send everything back to them and they do the marking and report cards. That's basically the main difference. So we did homeschooling last year. There were times when I just needed help and you don't really have access to that. I know there's Facebook groups and things, but when you're off grid and you just want to be able to get in touch with a teacher, say someone, and actually go, hey, how do you deal with this as a teacher? That wasn't there. So this year I've gone for distance education and we're going to be going through an episode. So I can't really tell you much about it just yet. She's due to start next week. So when that happens and I know more about it and I know what's going on, I'm going to include it in one of our travel episodes about what I prefer. Yeah, so that's all I can really tell you now. I've made a decision based on what I can find so far, but I don't really know much about distance education yet until I start doing it, and then I can give you a knowledgeable opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. Would we buy a trail caravan again?
Yes, I would. Absolutely.
There's a few things I think we'd change, but that's more to do with our style of living.
The background with the trail, if you don't already know, it was a off the showroom floor caravan, so it was already pre-built by
someone
an
else
existing
actually
couple
who pulled out of their sale.
Yeah, so they had it built, it was all ready to go, and then they decided not to. So it sat at the yard for a month or two.
And then we came along.
Then we came along with all our, we want a caravan. But to have one built was literally a long way, yeah, because a lot of COVID and all that sort of stuff was happening. So we weren't going to be leaving around until about June, July last year. So that was quite a few months of travelling that we would just never have done.
And we would have had to pay for a rental or an Airbnb.
We would have spent so much money.
It would have just been
just hanging around doing nothing.
Spent our budget to stay in a random house in the area we used to live in.
So they had this caravan sitting at the yard, sitting there, brand new, ready to go, and it would kind of work out well.
Good price,
because it was 90% nearly what we wanted anyway. We actually ended up with a couple of extras that we didn't even consider, which I'm kind of happy we did. It was almost like it was meant to be.
We would have done our kitchen and table the other way around, knowing now.
Straight over.
We wouldn't have had an oven, but we have an oven.
Yeah.
Which we wouldn't do next time. What else?
It's like a live and learn thing. We wouldn't have known these things until we lived in it. So
when we chose this off the floor, it was perfect for us.
Yeah.
But now living in it, there's things we'd change, but they're just things that we know suit us better.
Yeah.
And you'll be the same when you get on the road. You'll find things and go, if only I knew that, but you won't know until you're on the road.
No.
So yeah. I'd get one again.
Yeah, 100%.
But we'd probably build it ourselves and do it a little differently.
You've seen what we've done to this thing. Like the Cape alone, it survived the whole way to the Cape and back.
It's a good van.
It's done awesome. It's
really good.
Full off-road, and we've taken it off-road.
Yeah,
for the price.
We haven't had any structural or major issues with it where it's like, nothing. Oh my God, what the hell?
It's been really good.
Yeah. For the few little things we found, it's typical and it's going to happen to any van, like, a separation of silicone or...
wear and tear.
Yeah, literally. We use it.
Every caravan
and we use
has
it every day. Like most people use theirs on weekends. We use it every day.
And
so it goes really well.
Yeah.
All right. Any plans for a snow trip in the caravan?
I would like to think so.
That'd be awesome. As you know, we're up
She hates the cold. I love the cold, but
I'd like to test it.
Yeah, I reckon it'd be really cool. I'm a big snowboarder. I haven't done it in some time, but I've been on many trips snowboarding. I've been to Canada. I've done Whistler and all those, and I absolutely love snowboarding. But not only would it be cool to go to snow, to drag a caravan.
Can you imagine?
Doing a YouTube setup like us and showing you something like that, I don't think anybody's done that.
No.
If they have, they haven't filmed it.
The thing is, as well, is we've just done Northern Territory and we've done it in the wet season, we just like to do things a bit differently anyway and show you things another way.
Keep it interesting and mix it.
Another reason why the patrol's cool, because it's not what everyone else has.
Yeah.
But yeah, doing it in the snow would be cool.
That would be awesome.
We've got a heater, we've got a hot water system,
Yeah.
the insulation's really good. Like,
I tell you what,
we?
there's like, you think you know things now, that would like literally flip the story.
Yeah.
There'd be so many things you wouldn't
We'll
expect.
See.
Yeah.
If we're in the right
love
place,
to.
right time, and there's snow, we'll be there.
100%.
Okay. What are your thoughts on our generator?
Well, we've recently just changed. We did.
Yeah. It's hard to know, right?
Well, we didn't really use it that much. The only reason we had it generated to begin with was literally for backup. Because, again, for the Cape, we were going to go to the Cape, and we had the system we had. We knew it wasn't 100%.
It's not foolproof.
Yeah, it wasn't 100% reliable. If we would have like 2 or 3 really average days, we pretty much cooked. Now knowing this, we're going to change things down the track, but that's a separate thing. But with the generator, it was a backup for that situation. So I think, well, I only literally sold it about a week and a half ago to someone, and there was a Bluetooth, I don't think I've told you this, there's a Bluetooth app on there, and he said, have you used it? I said, oh, I've never really tuned it, I've only just used it for being a generator 3 or 4 times, I've literally used it a handful of times. And he sent me a message there the other day, he got on there, and there's like a logbook of everything.
Oh, really?
And we used it 16 hours.
Oh, well, there you go.
So that's how much we used it. So, to be honest, I couldn't give you like a true like rundown on how good and how amazing it was. It did what we wanted to. I can tell you though,
the couple of times that we used it where it was like during the day, it was able to run the aircon.
Yeah.
But not with many other things at the same time. So it was a 2.1 kVA.
2.1. It was enough to do one big thing and a couple of small things.
Or it could be plugged in without the aircon and charge the van, and you can still do stuff in the van and, you know, maybe the microwave and that. But you couldn't do lots of things at once.
Yeah. It was enough to just get by, but it wasn't...
It was a good backup.
Yeah, it was a good... That's literally all it was.
16 hours. That's great. You didn't even tell me about that.
I think it was 16 or 20 hours. It was, like, bugger all. So
because we never used it overnight or anything for aircon. It was more when we went out, we'd chain it up and we used it just to recharge on a, like, cloudy day. So...
Yeah. I think I used it 4 or 5 times, a handful of times, and I think I half filled it each time. So it can run up to 8 hours, but I half filled it, but I ran it for 4 hours most times because it only took a couple of hours to really charge the batteries, and that's all we were trying to achieve. So yeah, sorry, can't really give you a rundown on that. But what I will do is we've now upgraded. We've got a 2.2 Yamaha, so we've got a slightly bigger one. If we do use it and we find ourselves using it consistently, I will obviously give you a bit of a rundown on that and see how it's going. But until then, I can't really give you much.
Yeah.
To be honest, so.
All right. What are your phone holders and where can I get one?
How do you pronounce it?
Skosh.
Skosh.
They're the Skosh Magic Mount. You can get ones that attach to your vent. I don't recommend them because the vent falls and then the phone falls.
Yeah.
But you can get a 3M sticky one that you can stick in your car. And as long as
you got a flat surface. Anywhere.
Yeah.
We've
used them everywhere.
By far the best. We've had them in the Ranger.
We've four-wheel drive.
We've had them in
Cape.
We've nearly had them in all our cars, and we've always full drive up at the Cape. The phones never came off.
Yeah.
It's literally it comes.
One magnet.
Yeah, it comes with a little piece with the one of its magnet, and the other side's with the sticky bit. But you can basically screw it around, adjust it, tighten it, do all sorts of stuff, and then they give you a magnet that goes on the back of your phone. Doesn't interrupt the phone, doesn't destroy them, or any of that sort of jazz.
The only thing it does do is if you are the person who likes to go, oh, there's my wireless charger, and put it on your wireless charger, that won't work with that magnet on the back.
But in saying that, Paul did put it on his. He had a little magnet at the top of his phone, so he can put it on.
Yeah, he did.
And then he had the wireless thing at the bottom, so it is
so
doable.
So you can do it away from it, but yeah.
It's just how you set it up. But hands down, best phone holder ever.
They're at Autobarn.
Autobarn is
Office
probably...
Works.
Are they? Yeah?
Yeah, they're at Office Works.
Okay.
And you could go online as well. I think the Scotia website, you can actually buy them offline. They're actually an American product. So they're not very much over here, but you can definitely get them online. Just Google it. I'll put the name down the bottom so you know the spelling.
They are scattered all over. But Autobarn I found is... every reliable. Autobarn I've been to around the country, they're got there. Yeah.
Okay, do your knives stay on the magnetic holder? So, I just tested this again recently. We've got a couple of steak knives which have like a wooden handle and that. They're fine. They stay on. I've got a bottle opener. That's fine, and that stays on. But our big cutting knives, if we're on anything which is a bit bumpy and a bit icky, they do come off. The other day I got in the van after a dirt road and one of them was stabbed in the ground, so I forgot to take them off.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did mention it to you on the radio.
Oh,
Maybe
did you?
didn't hear
I
me.
didn't hear.
But anyway, so I rolled them up in a tea
Jesus.
towel and I put them in the sink with everything else in the sink, the 4
Yeah.
chopping knives, but I do leave the steak knives and I do leave the bottle opener, and they're fine. They literally never come off. So
Yeah, well, these knives are they're like a typical
Yeah.
steak knife, like a hog's breast sort of steak knife.
yeah,
So they're,
Lone Star to be precise.
yeah, I didn't want to say, but the longer, obviously, the more flex and a bit more sort of movement you're going to get. So
The thing is too is we've got this real thing. We love a good knife. So Chris's history back way in the day is chefing, and
Yeah.
I always love good knives. Not because I'm a chef, I just enjoy a really good knife. So we have that in common. And those ones, they've got a really heavy handle. They're like Japanese made. That special. I can't remember what the metal's called.
yeah, it's like the
It's
good
got a little
high
line
grade.
through it and everything, and
quality
you sharpen
steel.
them yourself and everything. So we're quite big on that.
Yeah,
So in a way, I prefer for them to be rolled up because they're good knives. So
yeah. We look after our knives. We
Yeah.
enjoy
on
sharp
road,
knives.
a short on-road journey, if they're on there, they don't come off. But anything that's got any bumps whatsoever, if you're going to do lots of speed bumps, take them off.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I just skipped the whole section there. What brand are the fans in your bunk beds? So, Huxin, Huxin.
Yeah.
The only place I can find them online is through AliExpress.
Yeah.
So, yeah, AliExpress sell Huxin fans, and it's actually meant for in the footwell of a truck. So it's meant to sit
Yeah.
down, cool you down when you're driving.
It's like a
But they're in the
simple,
bunk.
simple version of an aircon sort of
They were
cooling
in
off
there.
system.
They were in there when we bought it.
Yeah, they
So-
came with the van.
Yeah, they're really
Um,
good though. They blow a good amount of air.
Yeah.
They're not too noisy. The kids are able to use them. Jack can't get his fingers in there because
Yeah,
they're like
it's really
a
good.
brushless fan kind of thing. So they're really good. But when Jack's a bit older and we no longer need those ones anymore, I maybe would go a Sirocco if I'm honest, because they do give you more airflow than what they do.
They are, yeah. Sirocco is quite large versus
And you can
the little one.
change where the fan is directing and that. Whereas
Yeah.
they're one direction, you can go up and down, but not left and right.
But for what they are, like,
Yeah.
they're amazing.
And they're not too
They're perfect for
expensive.
what
I
we
think they're like $50 or something last
Yeah.
time I looked up the link for someone. So
It's just a quick little 12 volt
yeah.
stick in the wall, set up, a couple of bolts, way to go.
Where did we get our outdoor mat from, and would we recommend it?
Highly recommend the
Yes.
mat. Love it. We actually
Love it.
need. We destroyed the absolute hell out of our bag because Cape has that effect
A
on a lot
lot
of
of
things.
red
But
dust.
the mat itself, like, it has gone through so much.
It is amazing.
We haven't used it a lot lately because it's been quite hot. We're not outside as often, but like the
Or it's
whole
wet.
8, nearly 9 months of the start of that trip was
Always out.
all
always
day,
used.
every day. The kids are on it all the time.
Yeah.
Got other kids coming
It's
over
amazing.
playing on it. It's so easy to clean.
Yeah.
It can get wet and it dries out super quick. It's durable. We absolutely love them.
I'm gonna put
Recycled
The
mats.
link right here, recycledmats.com.au.
Yeah.
I think it is off memory.
Yeah, they're on
Um,
Instagram,
they-
Facebook. They're all over the socials.
Yeah, they have heaps of different patterns though, so you don't have to
Yeah.
get like ours. You can get anything you like, and lots of different sizes and shapes and
Yeah.
stuff. And they're all made from recycled plastic,
Yeah.
so you're doing something for the environment too.
Yeah, that's really cool. Awesome product. Highly recommend it for sure.
What's next? How do we manage?
Well, here we go.
How do we manage sexy
Oh.
time in the van? And does the van move?
I wouldn't know if the van moves unless I was outside.
Oh yeah, I really don't
Um,
know about that either. Like if it moves or not.
But if it does, it doesn't disturb the kids, so it can't be that bad.
Yeah, although they both sleep pretty heavy.
Yeah, I think we're quite lucky with the kids because Jayda sleeps like an absolute brick. If the caravan was on fire, she probably wouldn't wake up. Which is
I'd
kind
have
of
to
bad.
go and get her and bring her out.
Yeah, literally. Jack's becoming quite good like that as well
Yeah.
because we like to have a lot of noise and music and
We don't make
things
it
happening.
silent for them.
No. So I think it's just well the answer is yes, and we don't have any issues, and I think it's because we have great
How
kids.
do we
Great
manage it?
sleeping kids.
Yes, we manage it because our kids sleep well.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, too, we do have a little curtain It does
the curtain
go
gets
across. So if you've got any like worries of maybe peeping eyes, or like if you've got a pet that's
Not
sitting
much.
outside the window and you think, God, I can't do it because he's looking at me, sort of thing. The blind gives you a little bit more confidence.
Yeah.
Um,
That curtain does the same for
Yeah.
Chris. Sometimes
I
he's
was a
like,
bit like that. So it's like,
oh, I've got to shut the curtain.
oh, I heard a noise. Like, is she asleep? It's
We'll
like,
just go shut the curtain.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, answer's yes.
It's doable.
We don't really have too many issues with it. Yeah.
It's usually when the kids are sleeping.
Yeah, it's over night time, obviously. Like, well, you don't
Like,
get any other.
there's no,
You don't get any other time to do
public
it.
displays anymore, all the things that you used to do when you were 20 in a sense, none of
Yeah.
that anymore. We're like an old married couple.
Yeah, literally.
Do it when we get a chance and we schedule it.
That's one thing we do schedule.
Oh, that's so funny. What is the one thing in the van that we would change if we were given the chance? I think it's what we were talking about before, the kitchen bench and the seats.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we go the other way because our
Literally just-
kitchen's not massive.
Swap them over, because you get, now putting the kitchen on the other side, you get so much more room, so much
Yeah.
more bench space. It's just more practical.
Yeah,
Because the seating's, you only need so much seating. But then versus kitchen, everybody loves a nice big kitchen.
mm.
But it's not only just kitchen, it's the bench space, because you can do so much more in there. So
There's a few things that I'd like to do though, like with our bed, we've got the queen size bed. I'd love to take out the whole of Chris's wardrobe and make the bed bigger, more like a king size, and not have it so it folds away, so it's just a big bed, because we don't use that walk-in
Yeah.
space. We don't use that wardrobe, do some overhead cupboards instead or something. And
it'd be nice to
Yeah.
just have enough room for the bed to be out fully all the time.
yeah, because ours is a fold away with a
We got
bolster
the
at the
bolster
top.
at the top, so we've got to fold it out in the night time, pull out the bottom frame, and then of a morning pack it up, because it gives you a little bit, like at least another, I think it was 30 centimetres, I don't know exact. That
Yeah,
gives you-
30
which
centimetre
is a fair
bolster.
bit.
But then in saying that, with Jack being so small, it's cool to have that extra floor space in the caravan for him. We've got, people always comment on how much room we've got on the floor when you walk into the van.
Yeah.
And it is really good for Jack with all his toys. He can sit there and actually play, and it's not like, you can actually get past him.
Yeah.
All right, so we're on to the last category.
Well, Jack's
Oh, Jack's awake.
Hang on. Has he got him?
Yeah. You can wake up there, sir. Okay. So this is an example of why we don't get things done. If he's teething or anything's really going on, sometimes it's just impossible to do the YouTube side of things. So when we say, hey, it's happening in 2 days, and then it's like 8 days later.
It's probably because
It's
the
probably
kids had
because of
something
Jack.
to do with it. Yeah.
All right, we've got one last category to go, which is more to do with places that we've been. So we'll try and smash through this one. It shouldn't take too long, because I don't know how this will go. Your favourite place that you've been so far?
Cape's got to be right up there.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
I wasn't fussed on doing the Cape, and it ended up being my favourite.
Yeah, like, there is so much up there. The way people talk about it is a good reason why. There's no other place like the Cape. It is just stunning. And if you're a big adventurer, you like getting out and about, you love camping, you love having a fire by the water, you love all that sort of style, Cape is your oasis. Like, it is the place to be for all that sort of stuff. Fishing, just everything. So I'd say, yeah, use it the same.
I agree.
Yeah.
Cape.
But I have to say the Cape.
There's just so many different things to see.
Yeah. Not to mention there is
Someone doing gardening or what?
there is a number of other places that I could rattle off thousands of them, but yeah, Cape is definitely has to be up there, 100%.
Can you hear the big gardening tool in the background?
It's wicked snipping.
Is it? It's a bloody noisy one.
It's because he's probably hitting a fence or something, or a pole. That's what it sounds like.
Oh, guys. So I think the garden is finished.
So we're
Jack's
gonna.
being good, so we're going to smash through this. How did you get water for the van on the Cape trip?
Basically just. Well, it was mostly wiki camps, wasn't it?
Wiki camps. You can use them to find water filling points.
Yeah.
And not all of them, but some roadhouses allow you to fill up, or
Yeah.
they've got a water point. So you just really have to think ahead.
Yeah, if you know you're going to need water, or you're getting to a point where it's going to get sort of touch and go.
Yeah.
Start looking at wiki camps or researching a few things, or get on some Facebook forums, or find out some ways to find out, because there are plenty of them. It's just a matter of finding them.
And if you've got no service and you can't research it at the time, then you're in a catch-22 situation. But most roadhouses will have somewhere where you can fill up, or there will be somewhere nearby that you can fill up. But if they're on restrictions or they're on rainwater, they might say no. So you need to do your research.
Well, the biggest thing was we made an itinerary for the Cape, which really helped that, because we made sure where we stopped, whether we were a day or two without water, we knew the next stop we'd have to find somewhere that had water. So we knew kind of where we were going and what we were doing and what we could get from there. So if that's something you can do too, it will definitely help out 100%.
Where is a place you can't wait to get to? We're here now.
Well, I was just about to say WA.
WA.
We've literally just crossed the border, so
we're in Kununurra.
We're in the place that we've been wanting to be and wanting to explore for some time now. This is even way before we even got a caravan. We wanted to come to WA, so we're going to be here for a while.
Yep. This is 2021 for us, I reckon.
Yeah.
Do you prefer travelling solo or with a group?
50-50.
There's benefits to both.
There is benefits to both.
If you're going to travel in a group, there need to be people that you find easy to spend a lot of time with.
Yeah.
If you're going to struggle to spend time with them, then maybe not the right group for you to spend time with.
Because you're going to spend a lot of time together, because you're in the same place, you're doing the same thing. You can get away and do your own thing and whatnot, but you're going to see each other at the night time, you're going to see each other in the morning.
Maybe try and plan like a smaller trip to begin with, like a 4 or 5 night trip, and just see how that goes for you. And if you all get along, then from there you know that you can go longer together.
Yeah.
It just depends on you, and
it varies a hell of a lot. It's like meeting someone for the first time. There's going to be good things, bad things, but yeah, like
if you're a bit of a hermit, maybe don't travel in a group.
Yeah.
You know, it depends on you.
I will say we're far more productive when we're not hanging out, because we are quite social butterflies. So when we're hanging out,
our jobs.
we like having a few drinks, having a laugh, going and doing stuff and everything else. So for hanging out, we love that probably more, but it's not good for productivity side of things. So
the other question around that is, does being in a convoy restrict your travels? So far for us, it hasn't, because we've been with really like-minded people that wanted to do the same thing.
Yeah.
But I can imagine that it would in some cases.
It could definitely be an issue, I guess, at times, because you can't. There's so many things to do when you caravan.
But you need someone who wants to do similar things to you. That's all. So if you're a totally off-road van and want to go to those really
remote
cicadas and want to go to really remote places, and the person you're with has a really old-school car that can't go off-road with an on-road caravan, maybe it's not going to work. I think it's a bit of common sense there.
There's so many variations there.
How many days do we spend in each location? I think that's a really good question.
I think we started out doing a week.
Yeah.
And then we found that some places there's no point staying in a place for a week.
You've done it all.
Because some places are smaller, some places don't have as much. Some places you can spend a weekend, but it really depends on the place.
I reckon do a minimum of 2 nights wherever you go. Unless you're sending it through the centre of a desert and you've got to do a 1 night overnighter or something, do that. But try and do 2 nights.
On average now, with what we've learned and what we do, 2 nights is like our absolute minimum now.
Yeah.
So it's enough time to get here, check a few things out, then spend a whole day and a night enjoying what is here.
But
and if you enjoy it, stay longer.
In advance, so stay as long as you need.
2 days gives you enough time to sort of make or break whether you stay longer or not.
And it's worth setting up the van then. You know, you're not just pulling up and staying hooked up to do 1 night and not even get the awning out in a sense. You've got 2 nights where you can pull everything out and actually feel like you're living in your van.
That was the biggest pain in the arse for me. It was like, especially for the mat. If I wasn't staying anywhere for at least 2 nights, I wouldn't get it out.
Yeah.
It was just too much effort.
Yeah.
So.
But I reckon on average we're probably 3 to 4 nights, depending on the location and what we're going to do. The next question. What effect has COVID had on our journey?
Not a lot.
No. We've managed to avoid it.
Yeah, we've done really, really well. We get asked this quite a fair bit.
Yeah.
From just people in caravan parks and stuff.
If we were in Victoria, maybe a different story.
Oh, yeah.
You know, New South Wales, maybe a different story. But we've done
been
really well.
Very, very lucky. Our very first experience was down in Talabudru with the caravan. which is normally a 5,000 strong caravan park.
Yeah.
At that time of year we were there, there was us and probably 6 other caravans. We had a whole like far corner to ourselves. There must have been 200-300 sites just in that one section, and we had it all to ourselves.
We've been really lucky. It's basically given us some space in that. But the other thing it did too, it's forced us to slow down.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning you could only travel so far, and you didn't really want to travel too far either because it was like frowned upon in a sense, you know. So you kind of had to do what you could within reason, within the rules and whatnot. And it forced us to slow down and actually start living this lifestyle, which was cool.
But I think we'll get a bit of a culture shock when we start rocking up in proper seasons.
Yeah.
And there's going to be people everywhere.
Jack just wants to go inside.
Come on, you in or out? Let's go, in.
Okay, so what has it been like to be in the top end considering it's wet season? That's our last question.
A lot of people think we're crazy for being up here and doing what we're doing. But again, we like to go against the grain and do things differently. And not only mix it up, but it shows you guys something different. Because not everyone does this. Because they don't want to do this.
I hope you understand that you can come here. I mean, you're actually probably going to see this before some of the Northern Territory episodes come out, to be honest. But there are things that restrict you in the wet season. But in saying that, there's so much you can still do. I think the one major deciding factor for you should be if you cannot stand heat and a little bit of humidity, maybe don't come. It's
probably not ideal because it is quite humid and quite sticky. But
if you don't mind heat, there's so much to do still. Like it's so cool to see it in a different way.
Most of these areas up this way are full of waterfalls, lagoons, river systems, and then in the dry, to see them like where a waterfall might have been, it might be slightly trickling, or you can see the black where it used to run. To watching it in the wet.
We've seen both now.
Yeah, we have now.
And they're both really good
territory, but
for different reasons.
It's, there's really cool things you'll see that you don't see any other time of the year. So it has benefits either side of that season. But, it's just a different way of seeing it. And I love that we can bring this to you and show you these things because I don't feel like a lot of people do it. They're too busy chasing the good stuff, which by all means go for it. I'd love to do I'm looking forward to doing that. But I'm kind of glad that we have done something a bit different.
If you want a bit of space and you don't want to be like sardines while you stay in caravan parks, you should be coming during this season.
Oh, you have everywhere you stay, you'll almost have it to yourself.
There's 2 caravan parks and 2 caravans in this whole park.
Yeah, literally.
It's just, it's crazy.
And it's been like this everywhere we've been. Everywhere.
And they're all like, God, you're crazy being up here with the caravan, but it's not that crazy. Like, there's supposed to be a cyclone this week, and we've just had a bit of heavy rain, which they call a monsoon.
Yeah.
Apart from that, we're fine.
Yeah.
On that note, we're pretty much done. The only thing I wanted to mention is, obviously, we haven't gone into our camera gear, the drone, the editing software, all that side of things. So we're going to do that as a separate video, probably on Jack's sleep tomorrow. And just show you everything we've got and how we edit and what we use, and go through your FAQs, like your frequently asked questions, about them as well. Can you hear that? That's Jack. So send it here. I hope we've answered lots of things for you. If you like what we do, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, feel free to join as well. If you've got more questions that we haven't answered yet, put them in the comments below, especially if they're around camera gear, because that's our next one. Yeah, definitely, guys. So much appreciation for all your support. I hope this has ticked a lot of questions off your list. Again, if you got more, like Shannon said, throw them down below because we're happy to... I've literally copy and pasted your questions. So I actually enjoy doing this sort of stuff because it's fun talking about it, because this is what we talk about with just everyday people. Yeah. So, I'm happy to keep doing this and make it a bit of a regular thing. Yeah. We need to go, though. Yeah. Can you hear him? This is why we try to schedule these things down. Enjoy, right, guys. Thank you very much. Bye. See ya.